Welcome back. Okay, so if you're dealing with somebody and you're not sure if they're licensed, make sure you go to the Department of Real Estate's website to find out. If you got questions, shoot me an email or shoot Debbie an email. You can find our email addresses through our website, vhotv.com. That is short for Valley Homes on TV. Okay, so let's talk.
Well, one more thing.
Okay.
One more thing.
We're talking statistics.
So we're still talking statistics. We didn't finish. We were tracking the average price and the median price.
Right.
And we got to start tracking that a little bit further because I'm have to go by memory. But February, last month's statistics showed the average price at $736,000.
Milpitas?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the only Milpitas. And then the median price was $677,000. And that sort of correlates to that information I just gave you on the sales that are occurring. So I would concur. I don't believe we have dropped that much or that considerably. We seem to be holding our own, particularly for the properties that are selling.
Right.
Again, we look at location, condition of the home, and those factors come into play as to if they're going to sell and be part of those homes that are in the 46-day window frame of selling.
Good.
So it appears that the pricing is still pretty muchly in line. We haven't seen that huge of a drop here.
No, not at all.
No.
One thing that these statistics here definitely tell us is that the buying activity has dramatically increased.
Yes.
And it's like going to any store to buy whatever, whether it's a car or a quart of milk. If the demand is all of a sudden there, something's likely to happen to the prices. And so that's good information for you to have as a viewer. If you've got questions on that, we're going to be tracking this. In fact, what we're going to be doing is the next time we tape a program is I've co-authored a book called Marketopoly, and I'm bringing it here and we'll talk about further how those statistics can give you an idea as to where the buying or the selling pressure is in any given market, just tracking those three specific numbers. But we'll talk about that the next time we do our television program. What I do want to talk about next is for those areas of Silicon Valley or even California that are still experiencing the effects of this mortgage meltdown, short sales are the commonplace way of doing a transaction these days. And a short sale is, and everybody's got their own definition, but essentially it's when a homeowner owes more than the property is worth. They owe more than they're able to sell it for. So the only successful way of closing that escrow is by negotiating with the current lenders to accept the loss. It's called a short sale because the lenders are paid short the amount they're owed. It's not called a short sale because it happens quickly. By any means, it's probably 3 or 4 times longer. Short sales are very complicated.
And I agree with you. We've had kind of a small flood of those here in Milpitas. I don't know about your market out there in Central Valley or other places.
Well, my market's all over,
yeah.
from Hollister all the way up through Sacramento.
Okay.
Milpitas here seems to be
creating
its own.
We're holding our own, but what I have seen of late has been those short sales that aren't coming together, whatever. I'm seeing in the last few months a lot of REOs, which is real estate owned by banks.
Right.
And those are now coming on very low priced, and I've been calling on those. I bring buyers through. Believe it or not, they're outbid. 7, 10 bids on those properties. So there really aren't any deals. There's no fire sales.
And I'll offer the other perspective on that. We do a lot of short sales. About a third of my business is short sales.
Yeah, that's right.
And they are not easy to do.
Right.
In fact, here in Northern California, there are 4 companies who specifically, all they do is process short sales. And I'm glad to say
it's a very unique way of selling real estate.
it is,
processing
because
real
it
estate.
involves more than just selling the property. It involves negotiations with the current lender.
Right.
And I am happy to say that our closing ratio is probably one of the higher when it comes to short sales, even compared to companies that all they do is short sell. So that possibility is there. But on the other side of that is that it still leaves a large portion of homes that go into a short sale transaction that don't close and eventually become REOs.
REOs and bank foreclosures.
Now, I personally believe that each one of those animals has its own pros and cons. The traditional sale that doesn't have to be short sold has its own pros and cons. The same with the short sale, the same with the REOs.
Correct.
And we are seeing a growing number of properties become REO or bank owned. And again, that is its own animal. Typically,
what's your
REOs.
opinion, though? Do you think that's going to impact the market this year with the REO, the bank
Well,
owned properties?
I think,
How's that
I had a similar debate yesterday. It's the California Association of Realtors Strategic Planning. One of the members of the committee argued that when you look at statistics, you need to pull out the short sales and the REOs because they don't truly reflect the market. I believe that they do affect the market because they affect consumer sentiment. No consumer will easily purchase any home at $600,000, which is not a short sale or an REO. when there are 20 short sales and REOs of the similar property, maybe 150,000 less. Now it becomes, what are the motivations of the buyer and the seller? Are they willing to wait it out to find out a response from a short sale, which instead of 30 days might take you 3 months to close escrow? An REO is quicker to close escrow, but it's priced so low you are competing with other buyers. So each one does have its...
So it does have an impact.
Oh, it does.
It really does.
But for the homeowner who owes more than the home is worth, who wants to throw their hands up in the air and say, you know what, forget it, I'm giving it back, they need to consider the fact that there are other options. One of them is a short refinance, where they can keep the home if the lenders agree to allow a refinance that is short the amount that's owed to the lender. A short sale, which allows them to sell the property, move to something different, perhaps rent for a couple of years and rebuild that financial nest egg.
Right.
But the short sale does have its pros and cons. My point here is that here in California, there still is an overabundance of agents. And the majority of agents in this business, not all of them, that are new being in the last 6 years, the majority of those agents have never seen a down market and could not begin to figure out how to handle a short sale except for buying the $99, $200 short sale system online. And there's more to a short sale, there's more to any transaction than buying a how-to system online. And so if you're in one of those situations, talk to your real estate professional. Talk to Debbie. Give me a call. Ask us the questions. I don't hold anything back. I found that holding things back delays the inevitable. So I'll tell you.
You know, interesting, I've had this in my mind with the short sales, the REOs, and how that long-term affects value. We need to bring an appraiser in here and on our show.
We will.
That would be great.
That's a great suggestion.
Great suggestion, and then we can go through that process of how those numbers fare into the value of homes in a certain area. I actually just had that situation. Had a listing. I have a listing, and we're looking at some, and there were 2 short sales. One was an REO bank-owned property, and so how that extremely impacted that homeowner's value, but yet in the long run, they had a great home, they had a good condition, and so I don't think it will truly impact it, but I would like to hear from the appraiser as to how their opinion is on that.
And I'll take the other side of that coin. I think they do have an impact.
I think they probably do.
I think appraisers, it would be an interesting debate because I'm very strongly opinionated, having completed a certain number of short sales just in the last several months, and now still seeing the market heading in that direction. So they're flagging us that we're running out of time.
Oh no, darn!
So it goes so quickly.
It does go quickly.
So send us your questions, send us your comments, let us know if you like the program. We've been airing this for several weeks now, a couple of months, and want to hear your feedback. What do you think we're doing right? What do you think we can improve on? I'm sure Debbie's doing everything right. I've got many things to improve on. But send us your comments, send us your questions, because we want to get those topics out here. We air 5 times a week, and our podcast, it's free. It's downloadable. It's at vhotv.com. Any last things you wanted to say?
Nope, we've said it all, and you have a great week, and we'll see you next show.
Okay. Yeah. So for those of you out there, happy hunting as you look for your place to call home.